Here we currently have the Helicontex poncho being tested. This is the grunt-proof weighted hang test. So on my Arcturus grunt-proof video, I received a bit of criticism about the weighted hang test. Some people said it's not fair, you would never have that much weight on your grommets. I did explain this in basically every single video where I've done this. Apparently they didn't listen, they didn't understand it, so I'm going to clear that up a little bit more in depth for you guys. Of course, if you're camping, you would never have that much weight suspended on your tarp. Duh. I think we can all agree that wouldn't happen. The weighted hang test is the most realistic and objective method I have found to test items if I haven't had a year to actually test them in the field. And as I've said before, this test simulates very heavy winds, maybe some heavy snowfall and accumulation overnight, but more importantly, the heavy winds. I guess the people who disagreed with that don't understand the amount of forces that can be put onto these grommets during high wind situations. And we're talking about dynamic forces, which if you think about a hurricane, you can have high sustained winds, but those coming and going winds, that's usually what does a lot of the wind damage. So let's put this into practice. I'm going to throw this up on the screen and you can look at it. This is a chart of forces generated on grommets based on actual scientific formulas, okay? So just look at the speed in miles per hour in the wind, and then look over there to the right and see how much force per pounds you're going to get on those grommets. And as you can tell, it doesn't really take a lot of wind force to put a lot of poundage on each grommet. So one of the guys said, well, you got 15-pound kettlebells on each corner. He said totaling over 100 pounds. Well, first off, it was 4 corners with 15-weight kettlebells on each corner. So you do the math real quick. You're only looking at 60 pounds total. And based on the wind speeds that I got from this chart and doing the formula myself, I believe that's a very good estimate you could actually realistically expect to see on your tarp in high wind conditions. So I've also had people say, well, you would never camp in high winds like that. You know, and all I had to do was laugh, because my grunt days, that's all we did was camp in the worst possible scenarios. We're talking about tropical storm force winds, I mean, heavy rain, snowfall, all that stuff. So, are civilians usually camping in that stuff? No. But we are testing these products to a very high, rugged standard, which is usually what most of the military issue gear meets. They have to meet certain requirements to be Joe-proof and to be issued to guys in the field. So if you want to buy camping gear that can't survive high winds and it's not going to pass this test, you're probably not in the category of people that I am doing these reviews for. Or if you're more into the rugged outdoors like me, then you're going to want to see tests like this before you go buy a product and then it fails at the very moment where you need it the most.